Thank you, everyone, for joining. We're just going to give maybe 30 more seconds to see if anyone else joins virtually, and um, and then we'll begin the presentation.
Hillary, can you email me that link because I want to get off my mobile phone and get it on my computer, and I'm having problems copying the link to my email address. If you wouldn't mind.
Yes, I can. I'm doing it now.
Thank you. Okay, I have muted from here. I'm gonna share this thing. I'll have to. Can everyone see the?
Yes.
Okay. Do you see all these like little notes and things? Or just the title slide?
The title slide only.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Did you want to go from there? Yeah, I can mute it. Or no, okay.
So, welcome everyone to Macedonia Development Corporation's and the SBA, the Small Business Administration's Make Me Bankable Credit Workshop. This is our second session. We conducted one last week at 10 a.m. and so we're having one this evening. And so we're glad that you were able to join us. This one is going to be a hybrid of in-person and virtually. So thank you all for making yourselves available to really learn something and dynamically impact your future and those that depend on you.
This is the host for the Zoom too, so I'm not sure. Yeah, I gotta get to the Zoom slide. I've never seen this like this.
Can you let them in on your phone?
This is the host. Do you typically use this type of person? Okay, I'm sorry. 1 second, you all. Thank you for your patience. Can you all hear us?
Yes.
Let me see. Let me go back to
That's funny.
It's actually quiet.
Mhm.
I'll just do it by phone. If I can't get it in through the computer, it's okay.
That's so weird. Yeah, I'm sorry. You're just gonna have to go by phone. As long as you're here and everyone else is. Mhm. Okay. So here you can see our agenda for this evening. We have an introduction and icebreaker. Then we'll tell you a little bit about MVC. We will also share a little bit about Illinois Solar for All, which is one of our major initiatives. And then we will have Mr. Levi Kennard kind of give us an idea of why we're here. Then Mr. Israel will provide the credit basics and make me bankable process. And then we'll just have a discussion about the opportunities that are available to us now that we are bankable and discuss some next steps for you. Okay. So in the icebreaker, in celebration of National Women's History Month, I wanted to just quickly, since we have we have enough people where we can quickly go through and just allow you to say who you are, give your name, and just name an influential woman that you admire and why. And so I will start, and then I'll pass it off to someone, and then that someone will say their name and their influential woman, and they'll pass it to someone else who they see on their screen. Do we all understand the instructions? So you say who you are, you give your influential, and then you pass it off to someone within the virtual room today. So I'm going to start. My name is Hillary Scott Ogurinde, and I am a member of Macedonia Development Corporation. And the influential woman that inspires me is the beautiful lady that you see on this screen here, Ida Scott. She was my grandmother, and the first African American and female to be St. Louis County's Housing Authority Director. So I'm going to pass it off to, I think Felicia may be on the call today by phone. Well, let me try Celia.
Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Celia Robinson Daniel. I am a member of Macedonia Baptist Church, also a member of the Macedonia Development Corporation. And my influential woman or hero or shero would be my mother, Geraldine Claiborne Scott. And I will pass it off to who is next. David Israel. I would pick up. Is it the?
You're saying it as good as I would the first time I saw my name. Outstanding job. Probably better. My name is Dawid Israel, owner of For You Marketing and Services. Just wanted to definitely give it up to Harriet Tubman. She is one of my favorite all-time Black women period. And that's because she actually came back several times to help people who didn't even realize that they were slaves. So I really just really appreciate her. And I'm going to hand it off to Hillary Scott and excuse me, I apologize.
Ogurinde.
And Gurinde. Okay, great. I'm getting my practice.
And so I'm going to pass it off to an individual in the room here, Cheryl Hamilton, for her to say who she is and her hero.
I apologize, Miss Ogurinde.
No problem. Okay.
Good evening. My name is Cheryl Hamilton. I'm the owner of Hamilton Realty, a local real estate firm here in town. My shero happens to be Oprah Winfrey. I just think she just took the ball and ran with it. So I hope one day I can be as successful as she is. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me for interjecting, Ms. Hamilton, but I didn't give a reason why my Geraldine Claver Scott was my shero. And I'll wait till everybody do it since I'm kind of being out of order. I'll wait to give my reason when everybody's done it, if you don't mind.
Well, who did you want to pass it to? We're going to pass it to, is it Fele Pettiford? Felicia Pettiford? Felicia, are you on? Then okay, if not, we'll pass it to Levi Kennard.
Good afternoon, Levi Kennard with the Small Business Administration. As for influential woman leader that I admire would probably be either Deborah, where there was not a single man in all of Israel that was worth their salt, and so God put Deborah in charge of the entire nation of Israel. Or Margaret Thatcher, because she was a fierce leader. She was an ethical leader. So either one of those.
Perfect. I think I guess I would be last. So my influential, well, I'm Jackie, by the way. I'm Jackie Daniel with the Macedonian Development Corporation. I am the lead community organizer, and I am, I guess, the technical aid for this particular event. And I'm doing my best, so bear with me. But my influential woman would be Hillary Scott Ogrande. Just working with her side by side right now, I see how trailblazing and unapologetic and powerful she is in any room that she steps in. And she has like this way of maneuvering around so many different things that I could never attempt. But she does it so gracefully. And I really, she has such an influence on my life and has had an influence on my life for a long time. So I'm really grateful to be able to see her in a different light as I am now working with her. So we can pass it back to you, Ms. Daniel. Tell us why you thought your mother, Geraldine Claiborne Scott, was most influential to you.
Well, because she was the first African American and first woman to become an industrial engineer at Granite City Steel. And I was really grateful to be able to see her in a different light as I am now working with her. She's been to China, she's been all over the world, have sat with kings and queens you would never think or know that she has, and still gives back to her community. At the age of 79, bench press 70 pounds, does yoga, and work with with kids who have been displaced.
Outstanding.
At 79.
Outstanding.
And she won all the teachers' awards at 79, getting ready to turn 80. So yeah, and this was at all of her children and nephews advised her not to go to an alternative school at her age. That's my shero.
Lovely.
Respect.
I thank you all for sharing. As Hillary comes back on, I'm going to go ahead and move the slide. And Hillary is going to speak to our initiative. Yes, so Macedonian Development Corporation, located in East St. Louis, has the following major initiatives. We have an Illinois Solar for All grassroots education program. We also have solar training provided here in the city of East St. Louis, the first solar, boot camp We also are working with the City of East St. Louis to establish energy investment policy. And what you are here today, which is the Hope Credit Repair agreement. And so we hope to really make this an ongoing thing to really support local residents and businesses so they can transition to generational wealth and address our challenges of poverty. We also have a major initiative called Illuminations Clean Network, and MDC is preparing to apply to be the state of Illinois' energy hub, which will support workforce development and contractor acceleration. So we're going to take just a couple of minutes to talk about Illinois Solar for All. That is a major initiative that MDC conducts. And then following that, we will jump right into Mr. Israel to discuss the information of the hour, credit repair and building our credit.
Okay. We do have 2 individuals trying to join the meeting. So give me 1 second. Yeah. Okay. So what is it? Yeah, share the screen. Let's do it. Go ahead. Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you all for your patience. Okay, going back into my presentation about Illinois Solar for All. As Hillary said, this is one of our initiatives with the Macedonia Development Corporation. And basically, Illinois Solar for All is a state program that brings the benefits of solar energy to these communities like East St. Louis that are low income eligible, which literally covers all of East St. Louis, most of Columbia Heights, and north up into Alton, to these households, to public or nonprofit organizations and public facilities that are within that realm. Anyone can participate and receive the benefits that save money on electric bills. Why Illinois Solar for All? Why would they bring a program like that to Illinois? I will say that Missouri doesn't have anything like this, and I think California is the only state that is trailblazing a program, a statewide program like this. Illinois just got together and say, hey, we need to start going in towards the green economy and plastering it upon our state. And so basically they just bring the benefits of solar to our communities with credits that they give to the solar companies to receive as they build these solar installations on land and on roofs. So it was created in the Future Energy Jobs Act. It's called FEJA, if you heard of it, in 2016, but they really made it more equitable when they went and revised it and turned it into the CEJA, which is Climate and Equitable Jobs Act, in 2021. So there are so many ways to be involved in solar. You can subscribe to the community solar program. You can work in the solar industry and do solar training, which is something that MDC does provide. We do have a solar training program, a solar training class, and we call it Solar Boot Camp. Now that's going to start in 2 weeks, April 10th. It is a 5-week program, 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. And we're going to say it's Monday through Friday, but it is a 4-day class. And we are actually starting it up in 2 weeks. So if you know anyone, if not yourself or anyone else that may be interested in a career in solar, we have a great program set up. This is actually our 2nd time doing it within the last maybe 5 months. And we have set up this time to have job interviews and job readiness coaches come in throughout the program and get folks with a resume ready to go into a job interview provided by some partners that we've set up along the way. So we're very excited about that. And so there's the community solar, work in the solar industry, and so much more. So how can you learn more? There was a survey. I was not able to pull it on here because of technical difficulties. However, you can reach out to me, and I'll put my information in the Zoom chat, and we can call and set up some type of communication. You can also learn more on www.illinoissolarforall.com. Thank you.
So now the hour of that we've been really waiting for, and at this moment I will bring to the virtual space Mr. Kennard, who is a representative of the Small Business Administration, and he approached MDC as well as other organizations to really help give our communities access to this wealth building opportunity. So Mr. Kennard.
Yes, thank you, Hillary. Thank you, Jackie, for bringing me on today and partnering with us for the Make Me Bankable program. Just a little bit of background. I first took over the position of branch manager for SBA in Springfield, Illinois. The first thing I did was go around to all of the cities and ask them what their biggest problem was, and hands down, financial literacy, top priority for almost every community. So it took me about a year to put the program together, find the right partners, and get a good sponsorship with the federal government signed with all these partners. But now that it is signed, we just initiated this program in 5 cities, Edwardsville being one of them. And we're really glad to be able to offer this resource. So one of the partners that we've signed this agreement with is Operation Hope. Operation Hope is a fantastic organization. They have the 1 Million Black Business Initiative going on. Over the next 10 years, they want to start and assist 1 million Black businesses and getting going. They have a youth program that has been rolled out in a few cities across the United States, none in Illinois at this point, but they also have the credit money management. Credit money management and the Small Business Development Program are what SBA has partnered with at this point. What we want to do is start at the most nascent stages of financial acumen and a position where the first thing that people need to address before they, in fact, become bankable. The program consists of registering with Operation Hope. Once you have done that, they have an agreement with TransUnion. They can pull your direct TransUnion credit report, including your score, at no cost to you. They go right through your credit report, identify inconsistencies, and then help you by advocating for those to be removed or corrected. And so it's a great organization. It's one of those things that it's not going to cost you anything. At no point are you going to do our presentation today and then later on people are going to ask you for money. This entire organization has been funded through grant money and private donors. No amount of money will be asked from you at any time. After you go through your credit repair, of which, and I do need to state the results, 75% within 6 months, 75% an increase in their credit score. 25% of that 75% end up seeing a credit score going over 700. So just know that you have a 75% chance of your credit score improving by going through this program. But after you do this, if starting your own business is something that you would like to do, then they have the 8-week small business development program that you can go through for free. Help you develop a business plan and also to implement that business plan. Then after you've done that, the onus is on the SBA to create what we call the landing pad. Our objective is to show you how to manage your operations so that the line items on your financials digest into the ratios that the banks use in the most beneficial way. So how your operations affect your bankability. That's the intent of the program. After you get done with Ryan, what we're going to try to do is find local lenders in your area and do a meet and greet so that they can watch how companies are growing in your area. But that's the Make Me Bankable program in a nutshell. I do encourage you to go through the QR code, register with Operation Hope, and get the ball rolling. That's what I've got.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kernard. At this time, we will have Mr. Israel begin to share with us some steps in the process to really improving our credit and building our credit.
Absolutely. So hold 1 second. I'm going to share with you all on screen. Oh, I didn't mean to share that one. Hold 1 second. I do apologize. I don't know how. Share. I do apologize for that, unless it fell down. Just give me 1 second to be able to share my screen, and I'll be ready to get started, okay? Here we go. All right. So again, my name is Dawid Israel. My background, marketing, as I presented when we first started. And then I also owned a trucking company as well in Canada, Mexico, and United States that became $1 million company. And all my life I had bad credit. And so what I tried to do at first was fix my own credit, which was one of the worst moves that I could make. As a matter of fact, I call it the worst mistake that I made was trying to repair.
We can't hear you on this end.
I apologize. Can you hear me now? I totally apologize. So again, my name is Dawid Israel. My background is marketing. I owned a marketing company for 25 years. I owned a trucking company in Canada, Mexico, and United States that became $1 million company. And I did it from a shoestring budget. My credit was always bad. And so then what happened was I made the worst mistake of my life. I tried to repair my own credit. And so what I did was there was a company that I was able to get with, and I learned how to repair credit. And in what we do, we repair all 3 credit bureaus for you, okay? And there is a fee. It's a low fee, but it does all 3 credit bureaus. My credit score went from 560 to 730 in 2 months. And so it worked very well. I was able to do things with my credit, but there were a few other mistakes that I made as well along the line. And I want to talk to you all today about more so how to repair your credit, but more so traps to avoid when dealing with credit. And then once you've repaired your credit, how to not fall into the traps and how to utilize your credit properly. So as we go through this, you're going to see all the things on the flyer I'm going to deal with, but we're going to go through this quickly because I've only got 20 minutes. If you want more information, I'll give you my number so that way you're able to contact me if you want more information. I continually and have videos all on credit repair that you're able to utilize as well. And I have a do-it-yourself credit repair program if you wanted to repair your own credit. So just letting you know that. What's stopping you? What's stopping the average person usually is the unknown, not knowing how to fix credit, not understanding what the credit bureau knows about credit. What I want you to understand is your credit report, not theirs. This is a very important concept to grab. It is your credit report, not theirs. You own your credit report, not them. You can determine what goes on your credit report and what does not go on your credit report. We've just been bad stewards of our credit reports. Okay. Money sometimes. A lot of times people don't have the money to get their credit repaired. For a very low fee, we can get your credit repaired. Extremely low, all 3 credit bureaus. Time. The time that it might take to get your credit repaired. That's why I say utilize a service to do it instead of doing it yourself. When I utilized the service, it took me 2 months to get my credit repaired. When I tried to do it myself, it never got repaired. My credit score is good.
Recording in progress.
Okay, great. If you have a good credit score, already, what we want to do is increase the credit score. We want to take you from a 730 to an 800 credit score. Okay, 700 to 800. You want an 800 credit score, we'll get you all the way there. 850. All the way at the top. So the most important lesson I learned is that your debts, right? Let me move. It's my fault on this. Your debts Okay, hold on a second. Your debts and your credit report have nothing to do with each other. This is a key point. People think that your debts and your credit report are intrinsically linked. Okay, they're not intrinsically linked. They are actually separate. So the key to your credit report is what's reported, what's not reported. It's your credit report as well, as I mentioned earlier. So none of the worst items on your credit report are charge-offs. This means you stop paying an account for 6 months or more. Bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is not credit repair. It is credit destruction. If you're considering do a bankruptcy, make sure you contact me, right? If you're considering it, do not do a bankruptcy. It is credit destruction. There are rare occasions when you want to do a bankruptcy, but most people do it at the wrong time. Collections, third party, do not pay them. Third party collections, you do not have to pay. These are people that bought your credit report and are betting that you don't know that you don't have to pay them. You do not owe them. They paid what you owe for you. Do not pay collections. Those are third party, right? Foreclosures, could not pay a mortgage, right? Tax lien, defunct taxes against the property that go on your credit report. Judgments, first party company is taking you to court, no longer allowed on credit reports. So if you have a judgment on your credit report, it will immediately get removed. We can get those off. Garnishments and all these things we can get off your credit report, all of them, everything that I'm mentioning. Garnishments, first party company is taking you to court, no longer allowed on credit reports. Student loans, these are the hardest to get off. Student loans, there's a program to go through to get your student loans off of your credit report, but they are hard to get off. This is one of the harder issues to deal with. First party, because this is a first party company taking you to court, and you might want to pay this off. What you can do is consolidate, and we can get it usually removed once you consolidate, but you do have to make payments a lot of times for student loans. Hospital bills. They used to no longer be able to stay on for 2 years. The law has changed. They cannot put them on there any longer. If you have hospital bills, they will come off automatically, usually during your first run. Okay, so we're talking about FICO here. A, B, C, D, E, F credit scores. Level up FICO. This is key. I want you to understand. A lot of people think when they get a 600 credit score, they got a good credit score. They do not. A 600 credit score is a D level credit score. This is very important to understand. I want you to really take a snapshot or take a picture of this slide, because I want you to keep these numbers in mind. So you want to get your credit score all the way up to really at minimum a 730. A 730 will take you to B, just to let you know, but a 730 or above, right? On the Vantage score, you see the numbers are a little different here, right? But most companies use FICO. So you definitely want to utilize this chart. So if your score isn't here and you think you have a good score, if your score is below 730, the interest rates that you're getting charged are ridiculous. I'm letting you know. Okay. So the interest rates that you're being charged is ridiculous, right? On that. Now, the next thing that I want you to look at is the ranges here. So you're seeing here that the different like Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, the different credit reporting agencies, all of them have a different scoring card as far as where they put you and where they're going to give you a good report, right? So like I said, we want to get up to B, and if you notice, 730 pretty much is going to get you all the way across in every single score range. 725 here all the way across is going to get you up to prime, and that's where you want to be at minimum. And then you want to start building your credit from there. Okay, that's where you want to build it from. So like I said, in 2 months, usually 2 to 3 months, we see people go from 400s, 500s, 300s, all the way up to 700s, right? Quickly. And that's extremely powerful. And if a person has no credit, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, you'll see that. But 5 calculation components of credit: payment history, utilization, debt to credit risk ratio, length of credit, new credit inquiries, and types of credit. These are the 5 key calculation components of credit. So let's deal with payment history. Payment history comprises 35% of your score. This is the only thing where you cannot control your credit. What I teach is how to control your credit from here on out. The only thing you have to do is make sure you make your minimum payments. The hardest thing to get off a credit report is payment history. So that 30-day late, that 60-day late, that 90-day late, those kill your credit score, okay? It comprises 35% of your score. And the reason that says episode 1 is because that on my first episode of Let's Talk Credit, that is the first thing that we really talk about is payment history. Make sure you make the minimum payment. Late payment history comprises 35% of your score, right? So 30, 60, 90, 120 days charged off collections. The longer, the more impact on the credit score. Meaning, if it's 30 days late, it's longer. If it's 60 days late, it's worse. 90 days is worse. 120 days is worse. And believe me, 35% of whenever you go, 35% of whenever you go to get your credit done, right? 35% of that is based on payment history. Okay. So what happens with payment history? These stay on your report for 7 years. I want you to be clear. A lot of people don't realize this. Your payment history stays on your credit report for 7 years. That is a long time in order for it to stay on your report. Okay. Late payment history, dispute process, open accounts, right? So we're going to look at the dispute process. We want to dispute open accounts. This is the process for that. Step 1, pull your credit report. Okay. Step 2, negotiate with these companies, right? You're going to negotiate with them. So you're going to pull your credit report. You're going to negotiate with these companies to say, listen, can you please remove this for me? And sometimes you're going to need to call back over and over and over and over again. They will do it, but sometimes you have to get to a manager. Some people will be friendly. Some people will say no. So they don't have a policy in place to remove these. It's who you get on the phone a lot of times, right? Negotiate auto payments. If they say we'll do it, if you get for auto payments, say yes and take the auto payments. You can turn the auto payments off if you need to later. But right now you need to definitely negotiate with the auto payments. Step 4, late payment removal request letter. Okay. So you can do a removal request letter and send them in for late payments. And a lot of times these will get removed if you go directly to the company. You have to go to the company because the credit agencies, they're not going to remove them with late payments, period. That history is stuck. And usually the late payment history comes from the credit card companies. And when you're disputing in the dispute process, you're not disputing whether you did it or not, right? You're not disputing whether or not you have the bad credit. What you're disputing is they didn't follow the policies that they must follow in order for it to remain on your credit report. So you're never disputing whether or not the company is actually that you owe the credit or not. You're disputing the fact that that company didn't do their due diligence. Just like how you have a responsibility with your credit to be able to send in and deal with the credit bureaus properly and maintain your credit, they have a responsibility in order for it to stay on your credit report. Okay. So step 5, dispute the late payment. Okay. You want to dispute it as well as inaccurate information. You can do that on your credit report. But the ones, like I said, are late payments usually come from credit bureaus and they're on their game with that. They follow all the rules and that's why it's so hard. And so you need to contact them personally. And then dispute late payment personal info update letter. This is a powerful piece because the personal info update letter, your address and everything changes. They have to keep up-to-date records on where you're at, where you go. So I do a whole program I have a whole video just on dealing with that personal info update letter, because when the credit bureaus are trying to contact you, they're not trying to always to make a deal with you. They're trying to make sure, okay, great, this is their real phone number. Okay, great. They sent a letter and say, if you respond, we'll remove this and do that. They don't mean that. They're trying to find out, yes, check, this is their real address. They're trying to make sure that they're doing their due diligence so that they can keep you locked in that position. Never, ever respond to a phone call from them. Never, ever respond to any type of letter sent through the mail. Never do that. Go straight to the bureaus. Do not deal with the company unless you're dealing with late payment history and it doesn't fall off in the dispute process to the bureaus. Okay, so step 5, dispute late payment freeze, LexisNexis, Sage, InStream, and Innovis, right? So these are other companies that most people haven't heard of. There are actually more bureaus than just 3, but there are other ones, but those bureaus utilize LexisNexis to find your information. They utilize Stream, they utilize Innovis. So sometimes if you just freeze them, they won't be able to get the information. Those things will come off, right? Step 5, dispute late payment and wait 30 days. How to control credit. Again, your debt to credit ratio. What is it? It measures how much combined credit you have versus how much you've used. This is another thing. So once you master payment history, then what's going to happen is you're going to master debt to credit ratio. Okay. That's going to be key. I'm going to skip through some of this so for time. But once you do that, the way you're controlling the credit is because now with your debt to income ratio, you're just going to make sure your debt is down. For instance, I can have good credit. My payment history is perfect because that's the only thing that's going to cause me a problem is payment history. So if my payment history is good, but I've maxed out my credit cards, my credit score is going to drop. So how do I get my credit back up? Just pay them off. When I pay them off, my credit score, because my payment history was good, my credit score is going to shoot up above where it was at. As long as your payment history, if you master payment history, you beat credit. You can control everything else you can control. So the debt to income ratio is a way to control it. Length of credit is 50, and that's 30% of your credit score calculation. 15% of your credit score calculation is length of credit, how long you've had credit. And I've got different systems and things that you can put on your credit legally. I'm not talking about trade lines or nothing like that, but legally that will give you 2 years of long-term credit. That will help you immediately increase your score. 15% of calculation of your credit score. Age of open accounts, your oldest account, age of your newest account, average age of all your accounts. I'm going to move forward. Inquiries. This is something that people don't understand as well. When you apply for credit, you authorize those lenders to ask or inquire for a copy of your credit report from a credit bureau, right? When you check your credit report, you may notice that the credit inquiries are listed. The only inquiries that count towards your FICO scores are the ones that result from your applications for new credit. Now, the next thing I want you to understand that is the difference between the hard pull and the soft pull. And I'm going to deal with this because this is a very important key thing that you need to understand. Hard pulls hurt your credit. Soft pulls don't. So hard inquiries, such as actively applying for a new credit card or mortgage, will affect your score. This is where the trick comes in. Anytime if you're applying and you're going to get something, it's always a hard pull. Pre-approvals are not. So when you go into a shopping mall and you're going to get the card right then, that's a hard pull. They can't give you any credit without a hard pull at the end. Anytime you're getting a soft pull, it's pre-approved. So sometimes you'll ask them, they say, well, is it going to hit my credit? They're going to say to you, no. Yes, it is. It's going to hit your credit because that's going to be a hard pull. Right? Examples of hard inquiries. You go to shopping. I just talked about that. You get a pre-approved credit card offer in the mail and respond to the offer. That can be a hard inquiry once they give you the card because you were approved for the offer. But in the pre-approval process, when they're just checking it, no, you won't be hit for it, right? You contact your credit card company and request a credit line increase. The company pulls a fresh credit report on you to help determine if it will grant the line increase. Those are real. Soft pull, sub-queries such as viewing your own credit report will not affect your FICO score. Examples of a soft pull: your bank gets an updated FICO score on all its customers to check the credit quality of its customer base, right? That's not going to hurt you. You got a new job and your employer pulled your credit report as part of its new employee screening process and pre-approval for credit cards. Pre-approval, that's not going to hurt you. But when you go to the auto spot, it is going to affect you, okay? So FICO research shows that opening several credit accounts in a short period of time represents greater risk, credit risk. When the information on your credit report indicates that you have been applying for multiple new credit lines in a short period of time, as opposed to rate shopping for a single loan, your FICO scores can be lower as a result. Although FICO scores only consider inquiries from the last 12 months, inquiries remain on your credit report for 2 years, but we can get those removed. Inquiries we can remove. Now, here's the key thing that I want you to understand. The only bad inquiries are the ones you get denied for. So you never want, we put together a plan for you to go get credit before you go get your credit. Because if you go try to get credit, or if you try to go out there and get your credit before your credit is repaired, that's when you're going to have the problem. That's when you're going to have the issue. Okay. So I want you to really understand that the credit score only is affected when you don't get the credit. Inquiries where you do get the credit, those are actually good on your credit report, not bad. So you want to make sure when you're applying that we put a plan together, you're structured and ready to go get whatever it is. And the monitoring services that we use show you the score that you need to get a car, to get a house, to get the different things that you want, the true proper score, the proper score. Okay. So how do inquiries affect my credit score? We dealt with that. Summary: inquiries affect about 10% of your credit score. They do, but they can go stronger depending on how many that you have. Hard pulls are the only inquiries that affect your score. Soft pulls don't even show up on your score. Soft pulls are harmless to your credit score. They don't even show up on your report. Soft pulls do not show up on your report. Inquiries stay on your report for 2 years. Companies can use inquiries against you when applying for credit. Why? Because they're saying if you try to apply for this X amount of time and you didn't get it, we believe that you're not credit worthy. So you want to be very careful when applying for credit. So types of credit: installment credit, revolving credit, open credit, right? And I'm not going to go into that tonight. What I want to do is give everybody, I'm going to give you my phone number. I'm going to say my phone number. You can call me if you have questions or if you have anything that you would like to do, if you want to get started working on your credit as well. And then we can go from there. All right. And I also have a bankable program showing you how to become bankable in this, as well as once you are bankable and ready to go, we have credit. We do business credit repair as well. So on credit, we get you business credit as well. If you have a business and you want business credit, give me a call on that. As well as we also do, we also work with when you're ready and credit worthy, because the wealthy don't spend credit, the wealthy don't spend money, the wealthy spend interest. And so we walk you and show you how to develop into a situation where you're able to now create and not spend money nor credit, but have your interest payments or receiving interest, where you are able to now live off your interest and allow your money to grow and become truly bankable and what the banks like to see. So with that, I appreciate your time. I won't keep you any longer. I am going to have to jump in the next 8 minutes just due to the fact that I don't want to be rude, but I have another meeting that I must attend, and I appreciate everyone's time. My number to reach me is 847-344-1470. You can text to that number if you would like, or call me, but feel free to text. Again, it's 847-344-1470. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. And I'm handing it back to the host. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Israel. Does anyone have any questions for him before he hops off?
I had one question. I had my hand raised. It's Celia.
Outstanding, Celia. Welcome. And it's so beautiful. St. Louis always pulls me back. I have so many people I've helped with credit in St. Louis. It's ridiculous.
Oh, phenomenal. Well, I've already made an appointment for the whole, I've already got my appointment ready for Thursday.
Outstanding.
So I ain't playing. But one quick question I wanted to ask is when I've had two credit cards, automatically increase my limit without me asking.
Okay. Now, it depends. Have you paid that credit card off on time?
I've always paid off early.
Outstanding. So here's what we want to do. Okay. I want you to do two things. Since you can pay so well, I want you to make 2 payments a month. I want you to pay half of the payment on the 15th, and I want you to pay the remainder of the payment when it's due or right before it's due. That's going to increase your credit score. The second thing is they actually did you a big favor. Why? They increased your debt to credit ratio, meaning you want to stay 30%. You want to keep your debt to credit ratio at 30%. So if they've increased your credit allowance, what you want to do when you use that credit card, you want to make sure that you can stay beneath 30%. So if I got $1,000, I'll just make it real simple. If I got $1,000 credit card, I can only use up to $300. If I have 10,000, I can use up to $3,000, right? So they've increased the amount that you can use and still not affect your credit score. So they did you a favor in doing that. Okay? No problem. No problem. And really, I'm going to show you in the long run, if I'm invited back or if you call me or if we talk or however it happens, I'm going to show you how the wealthy do not use credit. They use their credit score, or they'll use credit, but they're going to make sure that they're going to get a profit at the end of the day. And so I'm really excited about sharing how to become bankable another time and at another time when we really can talk about that.
I'm ready.
I got to get going though. I'm not going to be able to do it today. Yeah, just call me. Call me. You feel free. Anyone else have any questions?
All right, great. So we will anticipate stopping around 7:15. So I would like to have Miss Karen and Miss Cheryl share some of the opportunities that we can expect after we clean up our credit, right? And some of those things include, investing in real estate, purchasing a home. So at this time, Karen, if you could take 5 minutes, and then after that, I would like to bring Miss Cheryl Hamilton up to share as well, and then we'll close. Take 3 minutes to kind of close and share everyone's contact information.
Okay, well, thank you, Ms. Hillary. Hi, everyone. My name is Karen Hutchins. I'm a real estate agent with First Clark Realty, and I'm just going to take a few minutes. I'm speaking to you from a realtor's perspective because when it's time to buy a home, your credit score is imperative that it's in a good place because you need to borrow money because buying a house is perhaps one of the most expensive investments. So a real estate agent, of course, represents you. And one of the things we want you to know is prepared to buy. As we've already just heard a great presentation